comedian, David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I've finally managed to break away for a couple of minutes to record a fucking podcast. These Indians, Jesus Christ, they keep the drinking low profile until they hit a wedding. Once they hit a wedding, all fucking bets are off. They get fucking lit. I remember it from my wedding. At my wedding, the whole time my wife was going, don't let your friends get too drunk in front of my family. They don't really drink. And then we had a cocktail party, the last event, and they got fucking hammered. And it's the same crew that was at my wedding. They're fucking lit again. It's good to see, and they absolutely fucking dominate the dance floor. When I left about half an hour ago, it was only my wife's family on the dance floor. I don't even know if the groom has any guests here. It was only my wife's family at the bar and only my wife's family on the dance floor. And leading the charge is my wife. She does not give a fuck anymore. She's just doing shots. She's dancing. She did the all-time fucking worst wedding speech I've ever heard. It was one of the biggest bombs I've ever seen in my life. She bombed so fucking hard. I had to light her. I gave her the light at like 10 minutes and she didn't see it. She just kept on fucking going. So she hadn't prepared a speech. She was asking me all week. She was like, should I do a speech? And I'm like, yeah, do a fucking speech. And she's like, oh, I don't want to do a speech. And I'm like, all right, don't do a speech. You've asked me 19 times now. I've said, yeah, do a speech. She's like, all right, there's no speeches, so I'm not going to do a speech. Anyway, I was standing next to the dance floor and the fucking MC was talking shit. And my wife just got back from doing her 8th or 9th shot. And she came over and started speaking to me. And the MC grabs her and he's like, do you want to say a few words to your sister? And my wife's like, fuck yeah, I do. And she walks out into the middle of the stage and then just starts trashing her sister. Like, it wasn't at the start, it wasn't even trashing her sister. At the start, it was about her. She did a good 5 minutes on herself. She talked about how good her life was before her sister came around because there's 6 years between her and her sister. She said she ruled the family with an iron fist, and then her disgusting sister. She trashed her sister. She's like, I didn't like her nerd friends. She told some story about how her sister only ever hung around with nerds. I mean, I thought it was funny, but the fucking crowd did not think it was funny. But she was telling this story about how her sister only ever hung around with nerds. And she said, she came to me and she said, I got into a fight with all my friends. And my wife's like, what? Who cares? You only ever hang around with nerds. They're They're disgusting. Like, she's just trashing nerds and her sister's friends. And then she brings the topic back onto herself. How it was so fucking bad. How she tried to teach them something, or I don't know. It was hard to follow. And then, this was my favorite part. She's like, I didn't prepare this speech. She's like, I didn't prepare it. No, seriously, I didn't even prepare. I didn't even prepare this speech. I'm like, look at the light. I'm lighting you. Fuck, it was bad. It was even worse than the speech she gave at our wedding. It was similar. The one she gave at our wedding was she jumps on stage and she's like, I just want to thank my mom and my dad who put in so much work, their tireless work. They haven't slept. And David's like, oh, I didn't get enough sleep. He hasn't done anything. He literally has not done anything for this wedding. My parents have done everything. He's just sat around. He's gone drinking with his friends. She just starts fucking teeing off on me in our wedding speech. And I'm like, hey, babe, just relax, all right? I actually said that out loud during her speech. And then she's like, oh, yeah, sorry. This time I just let her roll. I just let her sink. I was thinking about saving her, but I was just like, hey, it's good for her to know what bombing feels like. I don't think she really thinks what I do is that hard. Well, spend some fucking time in the middle of the stage with a microphone in your hand and dead silence. Then we'll see how hard it is. Fuck, she bombed. And then when she finally wound it up, oh, that's what she did as well. She also she also talked about having her second kid and why she had her second kid and how I said, what about you and your sister's relationship? Do you want to take that away from our kid? It was a really discombobulated, weird, I've had 8 or 9 kamikazes or whatever the fuck she's been shotting tonight speech. But yeah, when she finally fucking wound it up, it was over 10 minutes. The speech was over 10 minutes. She's like any other open micer. Instead of bailing when it starts going bad, she went long. She thought she could dig herself out of the hole. So she walks off stage and I'm still trying to light her. I've got my phone out and I'm turning my torch on and off. She knows what that means. She's been to enough comedy to know what the blinking light means. And she walked over and she's like, was that bad? She's like, did I bomb? I'm like, so fucking bad. And she's like, oh, who gives a fuck? I'm doing more shots. And then she just walked off. It didn't even hurt her. It was like water off a duck's back, straight back to the bar, straight back to shots. And then 10 minutes after that, it's our dance. And I know she's gone. She's blind already. I know she's not going to remember any of the fucking dance steps. She couldn't remember them sober this afternoon when we practiced twice. So I'm just like, let's have some fun with it then, fuck it. And we did the dance and I forgot fucking half the moves as well, but I put passion in there. I sold it. I didn't crush it, but I sold it. I sold some passion. I gave it some energy. There were some big moves in the dance routine and I hit the big moves. That's what you want to do. You want to hit the big punchlines. So I hit the big punchlines. Then I forgot a few steps, but they're like little shitty jokes. They're like a premise or something. I just moved on from that. And then the big fucking punchlines, I set it up. Boom. So I didn't bomb, but I energied my way through the whole thing. It was fun. These cunts actually know how to sober party too. And I slid away about half an hour ago while everyone was doing their freestyle fucking dancing. I got in there as well. I had to do about 45 minutes of good hardcore dancing as well. Because they make these like circles and they dance against each other. It's like dueling. So they drag you in and you start dueling against each other. So I just fucking go with it. It's actually not too bad Indian dancing sober. Because you can literally do any move and it doesn't look ridiculous. I can't tell with some of these cunts whether they're like professional dancers or they have some sort of mental illness. It's probably a little bit of both, I'd say, but they do get fucking into it. I also got offered some cocaine today and I was tempted. I wasn't really that tempted, actually. I was like, do I want to do coke? Are these the circumstances that I want to be doing coke for the first time in fuck knows how long? Not the circumstances. Are these the people I want to be doing coke with for the first time in however many years? And the answer was no. I really wasn't interested. I could have been tempted with some MD. Even still, is this the crew that I want to be taking MDMA with for my first time in fuck knows how long? I'm going to say that's a hard no. I would take it off them and do it in the room by myself, but I'm not really attracted to the setup here at the moment. Anyway, that was day one of the fucking wedding, and surprisingly, I'm not as cooked as I was yesterday. I think I fed off some of that Indian wedding juice, the energy they give. So that's just day one. It kicks off again at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I don't even know what's on at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Everyone's going to be hungover as fuck because there's some kick on in room 78. That's what everyone was talking about. After party in room 78. That's where they're going to be doing the Indian coke. I almost am tempted to do it just to see what they're doing here because the way they talk about it really annoys me. They're like, yeah, we're just doing some coke, man. Yeah. Do you want to do a couple of lines? It just annoys me how they're saying it because I know they're doing some like combination of talcum powder and aspirin. but I wouldn't mind confirming that. Anyway, that's it for tonight. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around, and I'll see you the fuck later.